Hi, guys. Today we're going to talk about plagiarizing and plagiarism and what that means. Basically, we want to make sure that we're putting all our information into our own words when we're doing research or we're rephrasing things. We don't want to copy and paste. I know that's really tempting, especially having computers right at our fingertips, but you're basically copying someone else's work. It's theft. You're stealing from them. It's very unethical. It is theft of and fraud of their intellectual ideas and thoughts. And this could even be just giving a quote without giving a source. So we're going to have two parts to this, the plagiarizing piece and then also how to cite our sources so we don't get into trouble. Plagiarism is a type of cheating that involves the use of another person's ideas, words, design, art, music, etc., as one's own in whole or in part without acknowledging the author or obtaining his or her permission. And I think it's really important that we realize that this isn't just the written word. It could be someone's idea. It could be a piece of art. It could be music. If you see something and you copy it and you try to pass it off as being your own, that is plagiarizing. Couple fun little jokes. What do you mean my facts are all wrong? I copied everything straight off the internet. Yeah, that's kind of funny, but that is plagiarizing. And as it says here in the other one, plagiarism is having a copycat. So there's common types of plagiarism that we get into. We have the plain just copying and pasting. I see this sometimes with elementary kids when we're doing research. They're just people just word for word copy and then paste in facts or information that they've read maybe online on a website or a encyclopedia, or sometimes they just copy it right out of a book onto their notes. So it's really important to put it into your own words. You want to there's find and replace, which is another one. This is where you change just a couple words or phrases and then pass it off as your own. So you're not changing enough. And then sharing work, collusion, sharing your work with other students that they submit as their own, or others share their work with you and you submit it as your own. So, that's kind of back to the old school, cheating if somebody else is doing the work and you're turning in with your name on it. Let's watch a brain pop video to learn a little bit more about plagiarism.
We're back with best-selling author and probable sociopath, Moby Calrissian. Your recent book report on The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was largely stolen from online sources. Is there anything you'd like to say to the American public?
Another nightmare, huh? Maybe you just need to get something off your chest. Dear Tim and Moby, I know plagiarism is cheating, but sometimes it's hard to tell if I'm actually breaking the rules. Can you help me out? From Moira. Of course we can, Moira. Plagiarism is the act of submitting someone else's work as your own. You're never allowed to use the words or ideas of other people without giving them credit. This rule applies to all subjects and classes. It doesn't matter if you're doing a science project, a book report, or even making a piece of art. Well, some instances of plagiarism are pretty obvious. Say you have to write a paper on The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. You go online and find a great resource with lots of cool ideas about the book. If you copy some of the text from the site and paste it into your own paper, then hand it in just like that, well, that's a pretty clear violation. Yep, stealing from any type of source and claiming it as your own work is always plagiarism. That source could be a book, an article, an old paper your sister wrote, anything. When teachers give you assignments, they don't want you to just repeat and recap existing material or stuff you find online. They're trying to assess your understanding of the topics you're studying. and see how well you can put your own original thoughts into writing. Plagiarizing someone else is like cheating off them on a test. Get caught, and you'll probably get a 0 on the assignment. Or, if you're lucky, your teacher might let you rewrite it. In high school and college, punishments for plagiarism can be even more severe. You might fail the entire class, or get kicked out of school completely. It's not that you can't use magazines, books, encyclopedias, or their online versions. In fact, it's a good idea to consult all of those sources when doing papers and projects. But if you use someone else's words verbatim, meaning the exact same words, you need to put them in quotation marks. And you have to attribute or give credit to the author. One of the easiest ways to do this is to use phrases like according to, and then add the name of your source right after. Depending on the subject, teacher, or type of assignment, you might need to use footnotes or endnotes too. Those are more formal ways to credit your sources. Footnotes show sources at the bottom of a page, and endnotes list them after a specific section or at the conclusion of your report. Sometimes you might also be required to put together a bibliography. That's a comprehensive list of all the works you consulted while researching an assignment. I was just getting to that. Many examples of plagiarism aren't obvious cut and paste jobs. Unfortunately, a lot of students wind up plagiarizing by accident. If you're not careful, key ideas from a source can easily slip into your writing. Like here, the original sentence was, more than a scene-setting element, snow comes to symbolize death itself. And you wrote, Lewis uses the symbol of snow to represent death. You did a good job of paraphrasing the material, putting it into your own words. But the thing is, you're still using the same basic idea, that Lewis uses snow to symbolize death. It can be tricky untangling your own ideas from your sources, so when in doubt, give credit. There are a few other important tips to guard against plagiarism. When taking notes, put big quotation marks around all direct quotes, even if it's only a few words. And write the source next to every note you take, whether it's a website, book, or article. These are pretty straightforward strategies that can help you avoid getting into any trouble. What? No way. I totally did not lift that from your, blog. Huh. Must have gotten stuck in my head from when I first read it. It was so not on purpose.
Okay. So let's go on. That explains it a little more detail. So sometimes you're wondering, did I plagiarize? Did I not plagiarize? Because as you saw with their example, there's kind of a thin line there. So start with, did the words or ideas come from the source, like a book, an article, a newspaper, or a website? If the answer is no, then it's not plagiarizing. You are including your own ideas, conclusions, and analysis. But if you said yes, go down to, did you copy words directly from another source? And if you did that, you keep going down. Did you put the copy words in quotation marks and include an APA or MLA citation? I will show you in a little bit how to do that. Then no, it's not. Okay, and you've got to just think about that. If you can cite the source, it's not going to be plagiarizing. So you want to make sure that you paraphrase is good, but we give credit. If you have any doubt in your mind, give credit to who said it, or the author, or the website, or the book you got it from. So how do I use text from online resources without plagiarizing? Here's a little practice that we can do. It's a nice little website. So the original passage is, at the start of the Great Depression, many Americans wanted to believe that they had hard times, that the hard times would only be temporary. Was it plagiarizing or not if I say, at the beginning of the Great Depression, a lot of Americans wanted to think that the hard times would be only temporary? So think about, do you think it's plagiarism or do you think it's not? I would say that is plagiarizing. You're barely changed anything there. The original passage on the second one, devices in the iPod range are primary digital audio players designed around a central click wheel, although the iPod Shuffle has buttons also. So is it plagiarism or not if I say, an iPod is an MP3 player that lets you choose and play songs to listen to using a click wheel, or on older versions, buttons. So with that, I would say that's not plagiarizing. You have changed it. You've added some of your own ideas and conclusions. You addressed the MP3 player and the older versions. Original passage, he was a very silent man by custom. Is it plagiarizing if I say he was usually a quiet person? I would say yes, it is, because it's so similar. You're saying the same idea. Next one. A letter of thanks is a courteous acknowledgement of a gift or of something that was done for you. So would that be plagiarizing or not if I say, a thank you note is a polite acknowledgement of a present or something nice someone did for you? What do you think on that one? I think it would be, because again, you're not adding much of your own, and you're just kind of changing some of the words. All right. Back to our presentation. So how do you avoid plagiarism? Because this is nothing, I really don't think most kids or even adults do this on purpose. I think, like they said in the video, it is mostly by accident. So how to avoid it? Do your own thinking. Add your own ideas to what you're saying. Do your own research. Properly quote and paraphrase, and please cite those sources. And we're going to talk about citing sources shortly. Teachers really know your writing level and your style. So oftentimes teachers can read something and they can tell that it's not in your own words and it's not your style or level. And then that's usually what throws up a red flag. Also, there are websites teachers can put in your writing, and it will scan it and it will look for 7 or more words, I believe it is, that are linked together. And if those are linked together, then they can find a source on the internet that it came from, and then they notify the teacher that you're plagiarizing. And here, I'm giving my citations for this presentation. I used these websites to come up with this presentation. I gave credit to BrainPop for the video there, and we have a subscription to that. So none of this was my own ideas. I got these from other places, and that's why I'm citing my sources today. If you guys have questions about plagiarizing and citing your sources, please just reach out to your teacher or to me, Mrs. Thomas. That is what I'm here for, and I would love to help you. Thank you so much.